You just want my favorite thing. No problem. No problem.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, stop. Yeah. No, you're not playing anymore, Belgium. Now you're at work time, not play time. You don't play. Okay. Anybody remember what we were talking about on Friday? Anybody remember what we were talking about on Friday? What were we talking about? Correct. How to find adjective and adverb phrases in sentences. How many of you found that difficult? Difficult. It was not easy to find adverb and adjective phrases in sentences. Okay. I believe going back and looking at it, I believe that the main problem with that was that I had made a terrible assumption. Maybe not a terrible one, but I made an assumption. I assumed that that there was something that we talked about last year, that you learned last year, that you remembered and could easily recall and just sort of draw on to help you find these adverb and adjective phrases. And I realized that that might not be the case, and that maybe what we should do is go back and look at a couple of at least one thing that would help you in finding these adverb and adjective phrases. And that is going back and doing some prepositional phrase work. Because prepositional phrases, all of these phrases, adverb, adjective phrases, they're prepositional phrases. And if we can understand prepositional phrases, then it will help us greatly find our adverb and adjective phrases. So today we're going to start talking about prepositional phrases. We're going to do some work with prepositional phrases, and then we are going to go back for at least a few minutes and talk about our adverb and adjective phrases and just see if it is any easier today with the knowledge that we now have about prepositional phrases to discover our adverb and adjective phrases. Okay? So that's what we're going to do right now. So prepositions. Our goal for the day is to do this. We want to be able to understand the meaning of a preposition and of a prepositional phrase. We want to be able to do that by the end of the day. We want to be able to identify, sort, and create examples of prepositions and prepositional phrases. Okay? So that's where we're going to start. Oh yeah, this is stuff you should probably learn right now. Normally, I apologize, I would have had a sheet made up for you guys to take notes on. But I made the decision to go back and do this morning. I was just going to like soldier on and push through, and you guys are just going to have to tough it out with the hard stuff. And I decided that I should be easier on you. And we'd go back and we'd spend some time reviewing and possibly relearning. So, here we go. Prepositions. Prepositions are words that show where. They're words that show where something is located. Examples include on, beside, around, or under. So they show where. Prepositions also show when. They show when something happened. Examples include at, during, after, or before. So prepositions do two jobs. They tell you where and when. You can use them to answer those two questions, where and when. prepositional phrases by themselves, or I'm sorry, preposition, all by itself, can't fully tell you where or when about anything. Because, Emily, if I looked at you and said, the book is on, what are you left to wonder? Exactly, on what? You need to have an object of the preposition to tell you the rest of the information. So I can tell you that the book is on, but it's not going to help you find it. But if I told you it was on the shelf, would that help you find it?
No.
If I told you it was on the floor, would that help you find it? If I told you it was on Patrick's head, would that help you find it?
No. Yes.
So if we're talking about something being on something, we have a preposition of on. You have to have an object of the preposition to go with it. You have to have an object of the preposition to go with it to help understand. For a prepositional phrase, you have to have those two things. A preposition and an object. There's a third thing that you can have that's sort of optional, but most prepositional phrases have it, and that's the modifier. It modifies the object of the preposition. It might make it more specific. So if I said it's on the shelf, that tells you it's on one of the shelves. If that told you it's on the black shelf, it might tell you. Or it's on the third shelf, that would tell you more specifically which shelf it was on. So the modifier is going to make things more specific. Many times your modifier is just going to be one of your articles. But it's always going to be an adjective. The, a, and. It's going to be an article. It's going to be an adjective. A lot of times it's going to be an article. But it doesn't have to be. Okay? I want to make sure that you understand that a prepositional phrase always has to have a preposition and an object. Always has to have it. They always have to be there. If you have a prepositional phrase or a preposition without an object, then your phrase is not complete. It doesn't make sense. Or it's an adverb. Because sometimes the words that we use for prepositions can also be used for adverbs. So if they're standing all by themselves, they're an adverb. Or they're an incorrect prepositional phrase. I always remember the prepositions need to have objects by a joke that I learned a long time ago. I don't even remember when I learned this joke. I've known it that long. And the joke goes like this. A young man had just recently graduated from high school, and he was a very intelligent young man, and got a full-ride scholarship to attend Harvard. Everybody know Harvard?
Yeah.
Right? Harvard. Very prestigious school, very hard to get into, very intelligent people go to Harvard. And he had gone to Harvard. He was at Harvard. It was his very first week on campus. It was totally new to him. He had never been to any place that big before. And he was feeling very lost one day, looking for different things. And so he walked up to somebody who looked like they were probably a senior and knew their way around and said, "Excuse me, sir. Could you tell me where the library is at?" And the senior looked down at him and said, "Here at Harvard, we do not end our sentences in prepositions. All our prepositions have objects." And the young man looked back at him and said, "I am so sorry. Let me rephrase. Do you know where the library is at, jerk?" He corrected himself. Prepositions always need to have an object. Yes, ma'am?
Why do they speak like that?
I don't know. It's just the way I make Harvard people sound. Because I'm not smart enough to get in Harvard. Alright, so we have some examples of prepositional phrases. It tells you where something is at. This is our little birdie. Our little birdie is flying around. Where is the bird? He's on the tree. He's in the cage. Between the flowers, under the tree, on the tree, in the cage, between the flowers. Here we have an example of different ways we use prepositional phrases. We use them to describe how one thing is related to another. Sometimes in this little clip, in this little GIF, our birdie is related to the cage. Sometimes it's related to the tree. Sometimes it's related to the flowers. But we always have one thing that it's in relation to. Okay? We always have a preposition and an object of that preposition. Imagine. Okay. So, I want to test your ability to identify prepositions. We have a list of prepositions up here. Some of these are prepositions, some of these are not. I need you to come up and circle the prepositions. Jack, grab a preposition. Just grab one preposition. Any preposition. Remember they tell where or when. Between. Lindsay. Before. Justin. Away. Lauren. Into. Mia. There. Drew, we still have 1, 2, 3. 3 left. 3 left. Brandon. Olive. Wrong. Nine. Love. Are there any left?
Yes.
Kendall. The last one. Alright, let's check our work. Oh, the only one we got wrong was wide. Wide is not a preposition. Wide is not a preposition. Wide is an adjective. It describes something. The wide river. One of the ways you can tell whether or not it's a preposition or not is ask yourself, do you need to include other words when you use it? If you need to include other words, like you could say, through the door. or from Bobby, or away from Bobby. Away from Bobby. Before the evening sun. You need some other words to add to it. What kind of word is orderly? What kind of word is orderly? What kind of word is orderly? Either. Nope. What, ordinal? It's an adverb. It's an adverb. Orderly is an adverb. It has ly at the end. What kind of word is orange? Nope. Well, it could be a noun. It could be a noun if you're talking about the orange. Orange. Adjective. What about happy? Yeah. Adjective. What about walk? Just tell me, what is walk?
Verb.
Verb. What about spin? Verb. Smiling. It's a verb, but it could also be an adverb, depending on how it's used. All right. Or I'm sorry, it could be an adjective, depending on how it's used. So here we have a couple of sentences. In these sentences, we have some prepositional phrases. What's the prepositional phrase in number 1? At the park, I watched children play. What's the prepositional phrase in number 1? Lindsay. At the park. Right. Anything else? In number 1? No, number 1's complete. At the park is our prepositional phrase. Right? We have our preposition at. We have our object of our preposition park. If we took out at the park, does the rest of the sentence make sense? I watched the children play. Yeah, it makes sense. It's still kind of creepy at the park. I watched the children play.
Yeah, it is children's play.
I watched the children play. All right. Number 2, parents sat on benches and chatted with one another. Prepositional phrase. Lauren, what's the prepositional phrase? On the benches. Is there another one?
Yes.
Yes, there is. Scott.
With one another.
With one another.
You can take off any
You could take off and chatted, but if you left the sentence as parents sat and chatted, is that a sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty boring one, but it is a sentence. Boys chased each other around. Is there a prepositional phrase in this one? Jesse, what do you think? Prepositional phrase will always have a preposition and an object, and possibly a modifier. So there's always going to be at least 2 words. So is there a prepositional phrase in that sentence? No, there's not. You have an adverb, around. Around. It describes chase, right? It modifies chase. How did they chase? Around. Or where did they chase? Around. It's just an adverb. This is just an adverb. It is not a prepositional phrase. You can tell because it's all by itself. Right, Anthony? Yeah. All by itself. Number 4. Ducks waddled along the creek bank. Is there a prepositional phrase in this one? Ellen? Along the creek bank. Correct. Along the creek bank. What about number 5? The ball bounced down the slide. Grant?
Down the slide.
Down the slide. Correct. Number 6. A toddler toppled over and cried. No. Ooh.
Over.
Let's look at this. Let's look at over and cried. Over could be a preposition, right? It could be a preposition. Which means if this started a prepositional phrase, our final word of the prepositional phrase would have to be a noun. Because it has to be an object of a preposition. It's always a noun. Is cried a noun?
No.
No. So is this a prepositional phrase? No. Over is just an adverb. It talks about how they toppled. So it's just an adverb. prepositional phrases will always end in a noun or a pronoun. A noun or a pronoun. Always end in a noun or pronoun. It could be a proper noun, it could be a common noun, it could be a pronoun, but it's always going to end in a noun or pronoun. So here we have some more examples. We have caterpillars all over our apple, right? And I've gone ahead and circled the pronouns or the prepositions in here so they're easier to see. So you have one is above the apple. We have on the apple, through the apple, inside the apple, up the apple, within the apple, beside the apple, down the apple, and below the apple. All of these describe how the caterpillar is related to the apple, right? Now we have our next little exercise. Yes, we did actually this entire thing last year. That's why I said earlier that we're reviewing it, because I taught it to you last year. You guys remember. So we're reviewing it. Yes. So this is, hands down. You guys don't even know what I'm asking for yet. You're already volunteering for things. This is what I want you to do. There are 10 things over here on the side. There are 10 items over here on the side. There is a sun, a tree, a deer, a stream, a plane, a car, a balloon, a butterfly, a gate, and a dude, or a guy, or a person, or an hombre, whatever it is. There's a person, okay? What I would like you to do is there are 10 things. I would like you to write 10 sentences that contain a prepositional phrase. One sentence for each one of the objects that's here. And I want you to tell me how these objects relate to the cabin or the house. Where are they in relation to the house? How do they relate to the house? Your sentences do have to be at least realistic. Okay? Realistic in nature. Please write them in your notes. I want one sentence for each one of the objects. Yes, Kendall. I would prefer not, because there are probably over 200 prepositions in the world. I'm pretty sure that you can come up with 10 of them. You're writing an entire sentence with a prepositional phrase in it. An entire sentence. So an example might be, the tree is next to the cabin. That is a sentence that has a prepositional phrase in it. If you wrote that down, now you only have to write down 9. Yes? Huh? It has a prepositional phrase in it. So the sentence, the tree is next to the cabin. Next to the cabin is a prepositional phrase. It's next to. A stream. There's a sun, a tree, a deer, a stream, a plane, a car, a balloon, a butterfly, a gate, and a guy.
That's a deer.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's far more change than supposed to be. need to be realistic. That was one of the other things, but you need to be realistic. I said that earlier, before you were trying to.
It's a stream.
A stream, a sun, a tree, a deer, a stream, a plane, a car, a balloon, a butterfly, a bee. people have their 10 done? Okay, let's see here. I need a couple people to demonstrate their prepositional phrase grading skills. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose one of your objects. You're going to come up here and move it to wherever it is, and you're going to tell us what your prepositional phrase is, so that we all can see where you are moving it to, what your prepositional phrase writing ability is. Jack in the back, come on up. Who wants? Huh? No, I just need you to move the thing and then tell us, everybody, what your prepositional phrase is. Don't hold on to it. Just go quickly, please. What is your prepositional phrase? The plane was in the cabin's roof? It crashed into the plane, into the roof. Okay. Aditi. Guys, I can't hear. I'm sorry, what was that? The sun beamed through the window. Excellent. Excellent. Brandon. Dude was sitting on the roof. Sounds like a fun thing to do. Jessica.
Yeah, that's how he got it.
Nice ending, by the way. Stop. The tree is next to the cabin. Anthony. No, it's more like a shrub. Right. The bonsai tree? Bonsai tree. The balloon was above the cabin. Excellent. Emily. The butterfly is in the window. Kendall.
Stream is near the cabin.
The stream is near the cabin. Excellent. Knowledge.
The deer staring at the cabin.
The deer is staring at the cabin. Excellent. Excellent. Ethan. Quiet, please.
The car is parked in front of the cabin.
Car is parked in front of the cabin. Skylar, grab our last one.
You get the gate.
Yeah. Quiet, please.
The gate was beside the house.
The gate was beside the house. Excellent. So we have some really great. All right. We have some really great sentences about our cabin and the way things that relate to our cabin. This is really quick and easy. Very quickly, there are some words up here that are prepositions. There are some words up here that are not prepositions. Some of them are objects. Some of them are modifiers. Some of them are adverbs. So you need to quickly identify which ones are which. Oh, let's see. We should just start calling people who don't have them. Yeah, let's do that. Esther, go grab one. Door is not a preposition. Correct. Sean, go grab one. Quiet, please. Quickly, let's go. Grab one. Huh? I know that. What word did you have? Corner is not a preposition, correct. Brenna. What word did you have? Bed is not a preposition, correct. Andrew.
Everybody just raise their hand.
It doesn't matter now. Now I'm just calling the name. Store is not a preposition, correct. Lexi. Hill is not a preposition. Brandon. You pick anyone you want.
Oh, Brandon.
Under is a preposition. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Jada, go grab one. Behind is a preposition. Grant, come grab one. Around, was that around?
Yeah.
Around is a preposition, correct.
Because you stole my hat.
Alright.
Actually, Haley.
Emily.
What? She's not sick.
I know.
Nobody took my word.
Near is a preposition, correct. Brandon. This is
Everyone else is
Who was it? Brandon, what was it? Huh? Barn is not a preposition, correct. Didi. Over is a preposition, correct. Let's see here. Jack. Not Jack and back.
You don't deserve to go.
Quiet, please. What word did Jack? Desk is not a preposition, correct. Lauren, go ahead.
You are being that's not funny.
By is a preposition. Alia, go ahead.
Yes.
I know, I wrote the pattern. I can do that. I'm the boss.
But you actually put
In is a preposition. Jack in the back.
Are you serious? He went up this hard.
Huh? No, I'll get it.
Wait, is there one on Jack's been up like 5 times. Yeah. Jack's back from.
Pick one quickly. Out is a preposition. Anthony, come get it on.
You over there like, I ain't raising my hand no more.
Quiet. Just wait till let's go. House is not a preposition. Way to go. Alright. This last one we're going to do a little bit differently. We have three different things. Three different things that go. Ladies, please stop. We have three different things that go into a prepositional phrase. We have a preposition, we have an object of a preposition, and we have a modifier. They don't always have to have modifiers, but they can. So we need to identify them. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to move them, and you're going to tell me where to put them. Okay? So we're going to start with, we'll start over here. We'll start with under. Okay, preposition. The. What finishes when you guys get next?
Oh well. Just so you pull your hands up so high. American Eagle. Are you really reading this?
Yeah. No. I downloaded it.
I have an ebook. I have that book too. I was like, what are you doing? Excuse me. Excuse you. Excuse you. Hey, why are you always have your door locked?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, like it will get in my room when I'm not here.
Who's gonna come in your room?
You?
Obviously.
And then they come in and they throw around my erasers and they write on my letter and
They're right on your bed.
no. And they throw them around my erasers.
I'm not. I'm just catching it.
And who's throwing it?
The giraffe.
Her bruise? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh my god!
The blue jeans.
No, wait, when did I get out of class?
Not even enough.
My leg!
Do not close the door on people.
I didn't close it on. I closed the door. You got that nice. Hey, say sorry. You're okay.
All right.
Please.
Back to work. All right. Let's get back to work.
Mine is a modifier.
Ankle. Where are we putting ankle? Where? Through. Okay. Tucker, Justin, where do we put it?
What story?
Maybe you guys shouldn't be chatting with each other while we're trying to work. Room. I said the word twice, but you guys are too busy talking to understand what it was. Shoe.
Object.
Object. The. Hill. Her. Modifier. Slide. Around. Down. My. The.
There's three.
Door. And finally, over. Why are there so many thes? Because you can take all these and make prepositional phrases out of all of them. And that's why they're there. The is a very common modifier. So you could say, under the ankle, through the shoe, around her hill, down my slide, over the door. That'll make a lot of sense, so you could. Okay. Okay. Here we have a series of prepositional phrases. In this series of prepositional phrases, there's only a few. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 prepositional phrases. Really quickly, in your notes, I want you to, right after your 10 lines you wrote earlier, and these, I want you to reorder these prepositional phrases to create a poem about whatever this subject is about. Looks like basketball. So you're going to reorder these to put them to make a poem that makes sense. To tell a story. We did this entire thing last year. I told you that already. Because we needed to review it from last year because we had forgotten.
Can we add words?
No, you cannot add words. You must use only these prepositions, prepositional phrases. But you have to put them in an order that makes the story make sense. Currently, it doesn't make sense. At least not really, no. So get to work. Okay. Okay. Which one of these prepositional phrases should we put first? What do we think we should put first? Jack, what do you think? In the air.
No.
Alright, well, what are we going to put second? If we have in the air first, what should we put second? Mia? Huh?
Around the defense.
Around the defense?
I
Okay.
don't know, it makes no sense if you put the three that
That makes perfect.
Okay, so what should we put, what do you think, what else should we put first?
Down the court.
Down the
Down the court?
Yeah.
Okay.
Around the defense.
Around the defense?
With the fans. Yeah, with the fans. No, with the fans. That's last.
With the fans ending 3-2?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the air. Perfect aim.
Then in the air?
Perfect aim.
Oh, with perfect aim?
Yeah.
In the air. Through the hoop. That's all right.
Is this what we have?
No. No, around the defense.
Or at least, is what everybody has kind of close to this?
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. Alright. How many people feel as though if I gave them a whole list of sentences, that they could properly and accurately identify a prepositional phrase? You can look at it and say, that's a prepositional phrase, I got that, I know what that one is. If you feel confident identifying prepositional phrases. Okay. We're going to go back now to our other work that we did the other day on the adverb adjective phrases. We're going to go back to this one because I think that this will be easier now. It'll be easier now. Because if you can identify a prepositional phrase, then you can identify an adverb or adjective phrase. Because all adverb and adjective phrases are prepositional phrases. They are. Adverb and adjective phrases are types of prepositional phrases. So if you can look at a prepositional phrase and identify it, then you can tell me whether or not it's adverb or adjective. So we're going to start with number 10. I know we did number 10 but on Friday, but we're going to go back and do the rest of them after that. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and start. 11. So let's look at number 11. The cost of the new bridge went beyond the previous estimate. Is there a prepositional phrase in that sentence? What is it, Kendall? Okay, beyond the previous estimate. Is there another prepositional phrase in that sentence? Lindsay, you're nodding yes. What is it? Of the new bridge. What word does beyond the previous estimate modify? What word does beyond the previous estimate modify? Ethan? Went. It modifies went. Because you want to know where it went. Where did it go? Where it went? It went beyond the previous estimate. What kind of word is went? What part of speech is when? Jack. It's a verb, correct. So if when is a verb, Jack, then what type of phrase is this? Is it adverb or adjective? It's an adverb phrase. Let's look at our other prepositional phrase in here. Of the new bridge. What word does of the new bridge modify? Jack. Cost. And what type of word is cost? Not an adjective. Nope. If you guess it eventually, you're going to get it. Yes, it's a noun. The cost is a noun. It's a thing. So, if cost is a noun, and of the new bridge modifies cost, what type of phrase is of the new bridge? Only 2 people know? Scott? Adjective. So here we have, when we were talking about the other day, we have an adjective phrase and an adverb phrase, all in the same sentence. Slightly easier to identify. Do we think that it was easier to identify this time than it was on Friday? Okay, let's look at number 12. Number 12. Do we have a prepositional phrase in number 12? Lead.
Well, would it be lie?
No. Brandon. Was too expensive is not a prepositional phrase because it starts with was, which is a verb. So you want to find one that starts with a preposition. Emily? For lead. Correct. For lead. And what does for lead describe or modify? What word, Justin? No? Scott? Expensive. It tells you who it was expensive. Like, who thought it was expensive? Lead it. It was too expensive for lead. It might not be too expensive for Bill Gates. But it was too expensive for lead. Okay? So it modifies who it was expensive for. Now, what kind of word is expensive? Patrick, what kind of word is expensive? It's an adjective, correct? It describes a noun. So, if, Patrick, expensive is an adjective, what type of phrase is for lead? Is it adverb or adjective? What type of words modify adjectives? Grant, can you help?
Adjectives?
It's not an adjective phrase.
Oh, then I know.
It's an adverb phrase. What type of words, guys, what type of words do adverbs modify? Adverbs modify 3 things. Jack.
Verbs.
Verbs is one.
Adjectives.
Adjectives is the other one.
And adverbs.
And adverbs.
Hey.
What do adjectives modify? Adjectives only modify one thing. One thing, Adidas. Nouns. So if this word is a noun, if the word that's being modified is a noun, you know it's an adjective. If it's not a noun, it's what? An adverb. It's either going to be, if this is a noun, it's an adjective. If it's not a noun, it's an adverb. Alright? Number 13. Before an evening of relaxation, Aaron likes to jog for an hour. Is there a prepositional phrase in that sentence?
Yeah.
Ethan.
Before an evening of relaxation.
Okay.
And
Okay. Emily, help him out. For an hour. Anything else?
Yes.
Anything else? Mia?
Like talking?
Nope. That's your core sentence. Jack?
Aaron likes.
Nope. That's your core sentence.
I think it's the core.
Lauren? Of relaxation. Remember, we can have them inside of one. Inside. So, let's start with of relaxation. Of relaxation modifies what word? Of relaxation modifies what word? Evening. Okay? Now let's go to before and evening. What does that modify? Before and evening, what does that modify? Manali?
Relaxation.
Nope, because it's not going to modify back towards this one. Before and evening is going to modify something in your main part of the sentence. Brenna?
Aaron.
Not Aaron. When does Aaron like to go jogging? Before and evening of relaxation. So what does it modify, Patrick?
4 hours.
No. Because it does. Here's your question. Aaron likes to go jogging. Aaron likes to go jogging. When does she like to go jogging?
Before and evening of
Aaron likes jogging. When does she like jogging? Before an evening of relaxation. So before an evening of relaxation modifies when she likes to go jogging. Aaron likes jogging. When does she like jogging? Before an evening of relaxation. So, what type of word is jogging? Kendall, what kind of word is jogging? It's a verb. It's something you can do. Jogging is a verb. So if jogging is a verb, what type of phrase is before an evening? Adverb. Exactly. So before an evening is an adverb. Now let's go back to this of relaxation. Of relaxation modifies this phrase before an evening. Before an evening is an adverb. What kind of words modify adverbs? Eden. No. No.
I know.
Jack.
Adverb.
Adverbs. So this word right here is an adverb phrase again. Of relaxation is an adverb phrase. Finally, our last one, for an hour. What does for an hour modify? Mia? Thank you, jogging. Thank you. Raise your hand next time if you're right. Jogging. And jogging is what type of word, Mia?
Verb.
A verb. And what type of phrases modify verbs? Adverb phrases. So once again, we have another adverb phrase. I know. Yes. Because adverbs modify adjectives. The only way, ladies and gentlemen, the only way it is going to be an adjective phrase, the only way it's going to be an adjective phrase, is if the word being modified is a noun. That's the only way it's going to be an adjective phrase. That's the only thing that adjectives can do, is modify nouns. So the only way it's going to be an adjective phrase is if it's modifying a noun. If it's modifying anything else, it's going to be an adverb phrase. Okay? The only way it can be an adjective phrase is if it's modifying a noun. We have two more to get through. Two more to get through. I'm going to erase a little bit of this to make it easier. I don't know. Okay. That boy with a broken leg had been injured during a soccer game. Justin, is there a prepositional phrase in there? With a broken leg, correct. With a broken leg. Justin, what word does with a broken leg modify? Boy. And what type of word is boy? The noun. So if boy is a noun, and this phrase is modifying a noun, what type of phrase is it? Adjective, exactly right. Beautifully done. Is there another prepositional phrase in here, Lauren? During a soccer game. Lauren, what word does during the soccer game modify? Injured. What type of word is injured? It's a verb. Something you do. You go out and get injured, right? Something you do.
You go out and
So if injured is a verb, what type of sentence, what type of phrase is this? Adverb. Adverb. If we cut that out and we look at the rest of the sentence, does it make sense? The boy had been injured. Yeah. Last one. On the beach of the tiny island, the castaways constructed a hut of leaves and grass. Manali, do we have one in here? On the beach. Is one. Do we have any others? Dee Dee? Of the tiny island is another one. Do we have any more, Kendall? Of leaves and grass. Which leaves us with right in the center. Right in the center we have our core sentence. That's our core sentence. The castaways constructed a hut. Is that, it's a sentence, right? It's fine just the way it is? Do we need to change anything about it? No. It's fine just the way it is. So now that we have the core sentence identified, we're not going to mess with it. There's not going to be any prepositional phrases in there. Because prepositional phrases are always extra. The sentence has no extras to it. It's perfect, all by itself. It needs nothing else. It has no extras. No, extras are good because they give us more information. So, where do we want to start? Which prepositional phrase do we want to start with? Which one do we want to start with? Manali, which one do you want to start with?
On the beach.
On the beach. Okay. What word does on the beach modify? Yeah.
Island. I mean, yeah, island.
Island. It's not going to modify a word in another prepositional phrase. So it's going to have to go back to the main sentence. So what questions does it answer?
Constructed.
Constructed, right? Because it asks, if they constructed a hut, where did they construct it? On the beach. What type of word is constructed, Manali?
An adjective.
It could be an adjective, but what is it here?
Verb.
It's a verb. It's what they did. So this is a verb. Then what type of phrase is on the beach?
An adverb phrase.
Adverb phrase. Okay, moving on. I want to do that. We got one more, two more things in there. Jack, which one do you want to do? Okay, of leaves and grass. What word does that modify? Is the tiny island made of leaves and grass?
It could be.
The hut is made of leaves and grass. So here we modify hut. Tells us what the hut's made out of. What type of word is hut? Jack? Which one? What type of word is hut? The noun. So if this is a noun, what type of phrase is this? Adjective. I would really wish all the little helpful whispers would stop. Please. I was wanting you to whisper, now I would ask you to. Last one. Last one. Skylar, you want to do it?
Sure.
Our last one. Of the tiny island. What is of the tiny island modifying? This is going to be one of those cases because remember, this could also be one gigantic prepositional phrase. So in this case, you can actually do one inside of it. We go into our little inception mode. Where we do have inside of one. The beach, right? Of the tiny island modifies the beach. So it asks where on the beach, or where is the beach? So what type of word, what type of phrase is on the beach?
Adjective.
Where in what phrase? What does it say? On the beach. What type of phrase is it?
Adverb.
Adverb. So if this is an adverb phrase, what type of phrase modifies adverbs?
I don't know.
Two types of phrases, adverb and adjective. Adjective phrases only modify nouns.
Oh, the adverb.
It's an adverb phrase. So we have another adverb phrase. Whenever, here's a clue. Whenever you have an inception moment, you have a prepositional phrase inside of a prepositional phrase. The second prepositional phrase is always going to be an adverb phrase. Do you know why? Can anybody tell me why? Why is the second adverb phrase always, or the second prepositional phrase always an adverb phrase? Anybody want to venture a guess? Lauren? It's never going to modify a noun, right? Your second prepositional phrase in this inception moment is always modifying the first prepositional phrase. And your first prepositional phrase is always going to be an adverb or an adjective. And if that's the case, only adverbs modify adverbs and adjectives. So it cannot be an adjective phrase. Whenever you have a second adverb or a second prepositional phrase inside of a prepositional phrase, the second one is always going to be an adverb phrase. Yes, sir. It tells you where it was constructed. If I asked you where did they build the hut, you would tell me on the beach. And adverb phrases, prepositional phrases tell you where and when. So it modifies where it was constructed. Does that make sense? On the beach is a prepositional phrase that modifies constructed. Of the tiny island tells me where the beach is. So this phrase tells me where the beach is. Correct? Of leaves and grass tells me what the hut was made out of. Any other questions about this? Does this seem easier today or still as hard as on Friday?
Easier.
Easier, like a lot easier?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Alright, quiz tomorrow.
What? What?
Alright. Go ahead and put any notes or whatever you have on this away for right now. You need the sheet? Yeah, you can. Okay. Right now, I know I talked to you guys a little bit about the story that we did the other day. Quiet down, please. I talked to you guys a little bit about the story that we did the other day, the 3 skeleton king.
Oh yeah.
And we talked about the problems that we were having with our conflict sheets. I haven't seen everybody's, and so I know some of you guys are not finished working on that. So what I would like for you to do is to either take the last 10 minutes to correct any mistakes that you may have made on that sheet, or to finish filling it out. Mistakes that you may have made would be in being not detailed enough. That was the biggest mistake that I saw. Was that either people were not detailed enough or weren't detailed at all, or focused on the wrong details, I should say. The other thing that I would also like you to do, if you have completed all those things, if you have the sheet done and you fixed everything and you have all your questions and all your answers, the other thing that I would like you to do is I would like you to take a second look at theme. Because I'm guessing that right now, probably about 90 to 95% of the class for theme has something along the lines of never give up. I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. I'm not saying that that's a bad theme, and it's not the theme of the story. But I wonder if there is not a different theme, or maybe a better way of saying it. Yes, there can be more than one theme to a story. So I would like you to go back and look at the story. See if you can pull out a different theme other than don't give up. If you already have that written on your page, that's fine. Write a different one down. There's got to be a different one out there than never give up or always believe in yourself. No, because that one doesn't necessarily apply. Alright? Yes, ma'am. You tell me what you think. Yeah. Always give up? Oh, also, really quick, sorry, I don't want everybody bringing them all. Really quickly, I'm going to make one gigantic correction with everybody right now. There's a difference. There's a huge difference in the story that we read about Ricky Tikki Tavi and the stories that we read right now. Both involve animals. In Ricky Tikki Tavi, did Ricky Tikki Tavi have human-like characteristics?
Yes.
Yes. So we considered him a man. And the snakes also had human-like characteristics, so we considered them man also. So our conflict was man versus man. In our story, Three Skeleton Key, do the rats have human-like characteristics?
No.
No. Do they have personalities?
No.
No. Do they talk?
No.
No. They do communicate with each other, but they communicate in a way that rats normally do. They do not talk, they don't speak, they don't have lines, we know. They don't have dialogue, they don't converse and tell jokes. So, if this is the case, if they do only...
Esther, why did you just throw it out?
Guys, enough. The book fell. Let's move on. Kendall, move on. I'm trying to, so you should as well. If the rats do not take on human characteristics at all in the story, is our conflict man versus man?
No.
No. If the rats act solely like rats would in the wild or in nature, what is our conflict? Man versus nature. This is not a story about man versus man. This is a story about man versus nature. There are elements of this story that are about man versus self. But this is a story about man versus nature. Our conflict is man versus nature. Yes. No. Animals are a part of nature. It's nature. Wait, what? I do not. I've been, in case you've been wondering, if anybody's trying to get to the online textbooks, I've been having problems with the publishing company getting a key, like a key code to make it available online, and I'm having problems getting it. So, when I get that, I will let you know, and it will be available. Yes. You have what? Okay.
I do this all the time, but I have a sleep bed, and it's like, it's weird, and I sleep right in the middle. I sleep like right in the middle. I don't know, I can't stand pillows. Dude, I have the worst nightmare ever. But like, the cheesiest one that is awesome.
Hey, Olivia, so stop coming loud. I don't talk about my cheesy yet. This nightmarish dream. No, it's going to
You blurt out a lot of things.
What? Things that you don't even know.
Blurt out like really we don't do
Remember you my toes, they were really hurt, and I woke up and I screamed, okay, and I'm not really scared, because I woke up and screamed, and I was like,
Oh, yeah. And the I don't care how I'm down to how hot it is outside. Me too. I know. I always do. I don't feel like I'm Oh no, you don't see me. I knew it. That's like Brennan. No.
have like 5 minutes. Me too. Dude, in fourth grade, everyone's like, like, excuse me, vampire.
I know, that's why I'm like,